A thread by Carlos Osuida. Trump-hating psychos on Twitter are the best thing that ever happened to President Trump. They suck the oxygen out of any and all non-Trump news stories. That's why he uses Twitter, to manipulate Trump haters into making him ubiquitous. As an entertainer, Trump knows that no publicity is bad publicity. This has a double meaning. It means any publicity is good publicity. And if you're getting no publicity, you're sunk. The anti-Trump stories are destroying Trump's enemies. The entire world is using a particular drug that Trump mentioned, but which the FDA calls ineffective. Guess what happens? People see the headlines, look into it, and realize that yet again, Trump was right. The Pavlovian response of opposing everything that Trump supports has forced the Democrats to become the party of violent death, terrorism, lawlessness, and unemployment. Meanwhile, the giant, throbbing brains on Twitters are using hashtags like Trump is a loser. That will win elections? How about hashtag Trump is a crybaby? Adults are saying these things. Remember the protesters outside the house of the acting head of the DHS chanting nursery rhymes? Adults. There's a great movie from 1980 called Gloria. Gloria is a total failure in life, a floozy, a drunk, a mobster's girlfriend. The mob kills their accountant, the book, and his whole family. Only the 6-year-old survives. For reasons she can't even explain to herself, Gloria saves him. He's not a very nice kid, and she's certainly not a nice woman. And now the whole mob is after her, certain to get her. She's thrown away everything. At one point, the kid tells her he doesn't want to be with her anymore because she won't spoil him, so she walks away. He's trying to insult her, but he's only 6, so he doesn't know any swear words. He stands on the sidewalk, shouting as she walks away. Bye, Chiquita. Bye, little sucker. Bye, little insect. Bye, little fly. Bye, little tiny insect. Bye, sucker. Since 2015, my brother and I have said to each other, whenever we mock Trump haters and their childish insults, it's really funny how they get all wrapped up in mass self-infantilization and think it's going to defeat Trump. Little kids always go after age. I'm 7 and you're only 4. Trump will always manage to keep himself in the news, wall-to-wall coverage. Democrats think that they can win by keeping Biden out of sight. They've fallen right into another of Trump's endless traps. Trump comes out daily and faces a maelstrom of disrespect and contempt without batting an eye. Biden won't even show his face. The country won't elect someone unless they hear the person explain his or her positions multiple times. Period. No doubt the Judas goats convinced the Democrats to adopt the politically suicidal strategy of hiding Biden. Now, I understand why former Democrats like Dr. Karlin Borisenko and Dave Rubin and Brandon Straka want conservatives to come out and fight. Tim Pool wants the same. All the people I mentioned above are great people, but they are cultural leftists. I went to one protest march in my life. September 24th, 2005. About 15,000 leftists against maybe 30 pro-Bush people. Pure insanity. We needed police protection. We had our own snipers. All it took was 30 American flags and 5 Israeli flags. The entire anti-war protest came to a screeching halt. The LAPD had to punch people in the face. Look at the cop's hand on his pistol. It was bad. I never forgot this young woman. She was screaming, "Murderers! Murderers! Look how deranged she is. Something is terribly wrong with her eyes." One protest or march or whatever was enough. Culturally, leftists love confrontation. Conservatives hate it, so we stay quiet. Besides, all the conservative confrontation has had no impact. Scrappy conservatives like Ben Shapiro accomplish nothing. The culture war is not about people arguing. It's about entire institutions being taken over by leftists, academia, the press, the intelligence community, the armed forces. Standing up changed nothing. You know what won the culture war? Trump goading leftists to kick everything into high gear. AOC said, "Why shouldn't we swing for the fences?" That's why Trump got her elected. I didn't understand that Trump deliberately allowed the House to go in 2018. That's how he got rid of so many fake conservatives. Trump also goads leftists into losing it. Tim Pool will never understand this. Trump is no boor. He has no real character flaws. The Trump who the Democrats hate doesn't exist. Trump simply tweets, and leftists self-exterminated politically. All the conservatives who came before us did not really accomplish anything. Government got bigger and bigger, ridiculous wars continued, poverty stayed at the same level, schools churned out Marxist sausages, and the press became state-run media. Neoconservatism and compassionate conservatism were a horrific combination of the worst of both conservatism and leftism. We need opposing ideologies that have the same goals but disagree on how to achieve them. Trump is, in fact, apolitical, as I am. I always voted Republican because the party did less damage, but I never joined the party, and I was never a cultural conservative. I can't belong to any group. It's not possible. That's why I support Trump. With the exception of his family, he stands alone. I deeply admire the caring loner, the isolated person who uses that isolation to figure things out and solve problems. I have an accidental adopted son of 38. Over the past 6 years, I've fixed all his chronic health issues. He's a different man now. He was beaten down into the mud, but I like him, so I began to help him financially. The more he took care of himself, the more he discovered was wrong with him. He'd been crippled by depression, but he'd never really given up. His immune system was so wrecked that he ended up with a systemic infection and a bone abscess in his spine. He was hospitalized for a month on an antibiotics IV drip. I never questioned him about why he is the way he is, but he's opened up. I just listen. He's so intelligent that simply talking about things allows him to gain insight into his behavior and thinking. No thought process is complete without articulation, writing, or speaking. So being a listener is extremely valuable. We're in the home stretch. My son is poised to become a tech billionaire. He wants to shower me with money, but what would I do with it? I told him to adopt someone and help them. He sees the point. Trump adopted all of us. He didn't need to. He had to. Injustice makes him furious. His niece, Mary the Tank Engine, tells a story that contradicts Trump's entire written history of the last 40 years. And she has flat affect. She's another mental health expert who went into the field to try, unsuccessfully, to cure herself. The Democrats are so disoriented that they parade these unbearable weirdos past us and wonder why none of the accusations stick. Trump is normal. Mary is not. I won't tell former Democrats to not urge conservatives to stand up and fight. But I will remind them that conservatives are culturally different. They don't like to fight, they like to win. They're waiting for November. Counting the seconds, in fact.